Well, welcome back. Today we're talking about pages and the menu options. Now we've moved on to the view menu. Some of these changes to this document here were done in the previous videos. And again, I'm going to cover the view menu option located in between the arrange window and window menu options at a relatively quick pace. And the reason for that is we'll be using these quite often as we're building some documents in this course, and those documents will be uploading and sharing with others. So showing and hiding different palettes and stuff, I'll be frequently visiting this window, and you'll quickly become familiar with the options in here. So in the view menu, we have this little box up here that says page thumbnails and search. Operate the side here. In this case, the page thumbnails has been checked, and we can see the thumbnails of the different pages in this document. But if I switch that to search, we can see the search menu, which we covered in a previous tutorial. But that's also available through the icons here. I've stated this before, that many of these icons are also built right into the text versions of them in the menu options and also in the inspector. But view, we can toggle between that, between this icon here. We can see the pages. We can see the search bar, and we can go back to view, and we can go back to pages if we choose. And that's usually the way I like to leave my formatting palette or my my application running. I like to see the pages on the side. But if you like to dig around and look through your document for information, especially if you're working on a document with other students and teachers and you're collaborating and you need to find things quickly in that document, use the search option. Show styles drawer. I'll click on each one of these and show you what these things are as we navigate through them. Styles drawer takes the styles icons here and puts them in a drawer. The visual learners will probably appreciate this. You can select text. In this case, it's using this style of text, which happens to be marker felt wide 42-point font in red. And we can change that to the paragraph style to, let's say, caption. You can see here it's changed this to caption, and we can do an emphasis. Of course, we could change the formatting on it and the list here to Harvard. And we can actually change this. This gets into some advanced features, and I'll cover that at a later time. In the advanced feature, I will show how to create your own new paragraph style. But for now, that's the paragraph styles drawer. I'm going to go ahead and hide that style drawer. Everything in here, or I should say most of the things in here, are drawers and palettes. You can hide them and show them inside of here. And so many times I will hide things. I don't use that drawer often. I just use the icons here. So for now, I'm going to hide that. I'm going to go back to view and hide rules. Now I've got the rulers showing here, and I can change the formatting by dragging these around. In this case, it's only adjusting the font here, but if I click outside the page, it'll adjust the entire page. You'll see a lot of things shift around further down there, or there's some text inside the document here. And you can hide that with the view option. I can say hide rules, and now the rulers are hidden. Personally, I like the rulers to show, so I'm going to go ahead and allow those to be shown. If you are working on the laptop, let's say the MLTI laptop, you may find that turning some of these options off give you a little more workspace to look at the product that you're trying to create. There are times that you do need to see the rulers, and you can turn those on and make your adjustments and then hide them again. But it gives you what tech people call real estate, which is screen real estate. And if you're working on a small screen, that little bit of real estate here that the rulers take up actually can be quite valuable in being able to see more of your work. I happen to be working on a 24-inch monitor, so I can turn on most of these things. It won't take up the space on my screen. Okay, moving on to the next view. Hide format bar. Now this is the format bar. That's what I like to use. Again, you could use the styles drawer. It will put it right here. We can hide that drawer, and I can go back to the format bar. I like to use the format bar. That's why I had it turned on at the beginning of these tutorials. And there's all kinds of features in here. There's your bulleting. Here's your columns. And to be honest, I really don't use this that often. I really use the inspector, but I'm going to show that in a later video. I'm going to go ahead and move on now. Moving down, we have show comments. And the comments are in the track changes. I showed that in a previous video. I may do a separate video on that because it's a really powerful feature for teachers. But you can view those comments here. And since I don't have any comments, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off and hide the comments. Yeah, okay. Now the next view option is show layout. If I select that, it will put little boxes around everything that's on the document. In this case, there is a header here. and it's showing me that the header's there, and here's the body of text, and here's the footer. This is very helpful for kids if they're trying to do a document, they don't know where the header is. You can always select the header even if you can't see that. So if I go hide header, hide layout, I can click on the header and actually get in there. But if you're not familiar with the word processing software, you may not know that the header is always there. It's just not being seen. So if you're kind of new at this, it may be worthwhile to turn on the layout, and you can kind of see where these things are going to lie in the layout of the page. So let's see. I'll leave that on for now. Show invisibles. Most of you will not turn this on often. In fact, beginner users probably shouldn't even turn this on. It can be a little bit confusing for them. But invisibles, they're done in blue here. And again, that was something we chose to do in the system preferences, in pages preferences, where we said the invisibles. You remember we picked the color here. I could change it to purple. You go here and you see those invisibles are now purple. I'm going to leave it back to the blue. That something that really stands out, a color that I really wouldn't use for text because it's just too bright. It's too hard to read. It's showing me here that there is invisible spacing in between these words. There's a space there. There are tabs here in between these words here. There's some tabs. And there's paragraph returns. This is rather important if you're a journalist or you're creating a web page and you're dealing with HTML. You need to see these invisible characters because it can alter the formatting as you export to the web or you export to a printer. Sometimes these formatting characters can cause problems in the way your document looks when you print it out. But for beginner users in this basic course, my suggestion is to turn off the invisibles, hide the invisibles. I don't perceive any time that you'd be using it in the immediate future. In the advanced course, I'll talk a lot more about invisibles. So moving on, view, show document outline. It may look a little funny when I click this. Yeah, okay, it does look a little funny. What this does is it takes out the pictures and just really leaves me with the text. This will be great for teachers if your students are creating a brochure or creating a report, and you've got one of those students that really loves to find pictures to explain what they're talking about. And I encourage you as a special educator myself to allow students to use pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, and students who take the time to search the internet for a picture that's trying to explain what they're trying to say, please don't overlook that. But if you're looking for getting the text and you want to grade the text, edit the text without having to navigate page after page after page of images and charts and graphs, viewing the outline in outline format allows you, as you saw, we had like 6 or 8 pages here, and it's narrowed this right down to just the text that I have in the document. It really is a bunch of nonsense text right now. But you can see what I've actually put in here. And this is great if you want students that are writing papers to really see the outlines and see how their information is starting to look as they're trying to create a report or create a book or a brochure or something. It will shorten that down just to the text, and they don't get lost in the pictures. So for you teachers, I'm sure hiding the outline and viewing the outline will be valuable. Like you see here, we have pretty pictures. It looks fabulous, but if you're, say, an English or history teacher and you just want the content, you don't want to be dealing with lots of pictures that in some sense might not make a lot of sense. You can go right to showing the outline, and that will just give you the text of the document. So moving on, zoom. Lots of zoom features. We can zoom in on a document. We can zoom out. I do want to point out that zoom is also available in the toolbar down here at the bottom. We can pick the tools, the zoom options go 50%, and the document will shrink down. We're seeing it at 50% its original size. If I open up my screen here, get some more real estate, I can go in here and go 2 up, and that will put 2 pages facing it like a book. A lot of teachers like to look at things this way. A lot of students like to look at this thing. It's a little more traditional. In this case, I would probably go to 75%.